Get right to it. Loki logo there. He who remains. We get the build figure, and then that's supposed to be the cross cell, which kind of sucks. I like the old cross cell, which we don't get on the package anymore. So I will work promo image of he who remains there. We get a look at the figure. His awesome accessory just in the apple. It's kind of sucks he didn't come with more. Not sure what else he really shouldn't come with, I guess, because he didn't have anything else. I guess it wouldn't really make sense. He comes with the headpiece for the Build-A-Figure, so I wanted to show this to you guys because you know how it comes out of package wrapped up in tissue paper. Here is the apple twisted in there, and then here you have the Khonshu and sculpt. So let's get these out of the wrappers and take a look. But there is the box, and let's get right to it. Okay, so here is he who remains out of the package, and here we have the Khonshu Build-A-Figure head, which looks pretty damn insane. I mean, it looks like a real like bird skeleton kind of deal. The way they applied the paint and the shading and stuff to make it look like a real bone looks really cool. You can see the edge of the beak there. It gets a little bit of different color. Looks really nice. So we'll take a look at Khonshu all together once we look at all the figures in the way, which will be towards the end of the week. You know, after I get those other 3 figures from Big Bad Toy Store. But here we have he who remains and comes from just an apple. So we're gonna get this apple out of the way. There's no bite marks or anything on it. Tiny bit of paint, ever so tiny bit of paint. That's just gonna be on the stem. There, as you can see, it is a green apple, and then you get a darker greenish brown. That's a darker green color for the stem. We'll just put that off to the side, and then we're going to look at Kang the Conqueror, He Who Remains. Okay, so here's an up close look at He Who Remains, and the Jonathan Majors likeness is on point. I think it came out looking really, really good. It's a little shiny in some areas. Of course, I have, you know, 3 bright lights shining right on top of him. But it really looks like Jonathan Majors. I think they did a fantastic job here. Looks really crazy. Now, the color of it, we get this design to it. I don't know if it's like, you know, threading and how it's supposed to look, but the design, that looks really cool. So it's really nicely done in the sculpt there. But there isn't really a whole lot else going for it. You know, it's got kind of fully witty look to it, and it really hinders anything about the figure, and we'll have to kind of look at that. I'm going to see if I can take it off and see kind of how the articulation works on this guy, because it's very, very, very weird. We have Kang, or He Who Remains' version of the Tempad. So, you know, the TVA had the little handheld devices that flip, but, you know, He Who Remains had this really cool one that went on his hand there. It would be nice if they had like a removable, like if we had an additional hand swap out that didn't have it, and then a loose like Tempad, because, you know, he takes it off when he's talking to Sylvie and Loki. That would have been really cool, you know, if they did that. But you know, we just have the hand there. Just stupid apple. And then he's got his sandals on there. Those look pretty good. He is pinless. San Antonio is, of course, pinless, but his knees are pinless, as you can see there. And it's just a funky design. I think they kind of modeled him more so after Immortus. You know, no confirmation if that's kind of, you know, who He Who Remains is supposed to be. I will do a better side-by-side comparison of Kang. I will do a head swap, see if this head fits on this body, and I guess if this head fits on this body, but we'll see. But I do really want to try and get this coat off to see what the articulation scheme here is. I can't tell if there's a ball joint in there or is this just a swivel, because it just gets... Oh, I see a ball joint, look at that. And this kind of ugly joint there. Look how much that kind of gets exposed. Now, see, I want to take it off to kind of see what we can do and kind of what we're working with. Okay, so here is the coat removed, and you know what? It's kind of a funny look. It really is. I guess I didn't really look at the details so much. Kind of here in his shirt, some gold paint in there looks really good. Gold paint on these lines. Over there, sculpted seam lines and stuff throughout the shirt. The skirt piece has a nice texture look to it. Not a whole lot there. There are slits in there, you know, to get the legs to go out quite far apart, so that is really cool. But I wanted to remove the jacket to really see kind of how this figure is set up. There is no waist swivel on this guy, so you get the swivel at... because it seems so much higher than the waist. I don't want to even call it. So it's like a mid-torso, not even a diaphragm cut. So mid-torso cut there. So you get swivel there, but it is on a ball joint, so you can pivot around. But as you can see, you do see some gap there. Now, the jacket will cover that, so that's not really going to be a problem. So it's kind of cool the way that works. So, you know, still pretty limited on his movement, you know, going back and forward. He can back though, see, but the jacket's not gonna hide that, so that really sucks there. So you can get some nice good pivot going on in there. It's gonna be hard with the jacket because the jacket's gonna be so stiff. It will hinder the tilt to his right and to his left. So I wanted you guys to see that without the jacket on, how well it could have moved. But then once I put the jacket back on, it's definitely going to be a problem. And then the jacket's going to hinder the legs going out this far apart as well. And then this right leg is a little loose. It keeps wanting to bend in. It's not terrible, but it's just a little loose. So just a heads up on that. It's probably going to be mine. But I'm going to get this jacket back on and we'll see how he moves with that jacket. Because that's really how he should look. He should really never look like this because this is funky. Okay, so he remains and see how he can move around so he can look down that much. Notice there is a little bit of gap in between his head and the neck, so it does sit a little bit high on the neck peg. So he can look up that much. It is on a dumbbell joint, so that means insane amount of pivot. You get full swivel, but again, the looking up and the looking down doesn't give you as much motion. The arm you can get to go straight on out. You can do a full rotation. Just, you know, be careful with that. Of that shoulder sleeve portion there. And so a little disappointing single jointed elbow. You do get more than 90-degree bend at that elbow though, but that's all you're going to get there. It's not terrible, not too bad. It's a very baggy sleeve, so you know it kind of makes sense. Double jointed elbow would have looked really weird at the bend. So that much bend there. Wrists swivel and they do hinge. And that's going to be the same hinge on both of his hands, and this one hand, you know, was made to hold the apple. I already went over the torso, but as you can see, you know, when he tilts, you can get a little bit of the tilt in there, but that jacket is really going to hinder kind of how that ends up working out for the figure, but you can get him to lean forward, which is really good. You know, once he gets stabbed by Sylvie, you know, you kind of lean forward, but, you know, it would be difficult to get him to sit in a chair, I'd say, with the jacket, so be aware of that. The legs going out far apart, jackets again going to get in the way, but you can kind of do some stuff like that. Kicking forward, that skirt piece is going to get in the way, so he's only going to kick forward that much. The leg doesn't really go back. You do have an upper thigh cut in there, and you get a double jointed knee, but it's going to be hard to work the knee because of the jacket, but you get that much bend there at the knee. No calf swivel or anything like that. The ankle does have a swivel right at the ankle ball, right at the bottom of the pant leg. The foot hinges down a little bit, you can work it, and then it does hinge up a little bit, but the foot does hit the pant leg, and it's really hard to kind of avoid that. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. He stands up really well. Usually I don't like the ankle ball swivels. It's not so much an issue on this figure, but on some other figures it really bothers me. But there is He Who Remains. Let's see how he looks next to his comic counterparts. Okay, Kang and Kang. There's going to be multiple Kangs. Quantumania will have a Kang. Here we have He Who Remains. Here's Kang the Conqueror. Lots of crazy things going on, lots of different variants. But let's see if the heads can kind of work around. I know there's some custom heads out there and people doing some amazing things with it. But let's just see this head, if it'll work on this comic figure. Well, this is probably something that you're not going to want to do. This actually works, and you know what? I think it actually looks pretty good. Let's get in for a closer look. Yeah, that head sculpt fits on there nicely. It doesn't, you know, hold on there. It's not wobbly or anything, and that can kind of work. And he's going to have a fairly comic accurate look in the movies. Obviously, they put in a crazy amount of detail and stuff into the MCU looks. But this works. I mean, the neck might look a little high. But it does pop on there, and I don't think it's the worst look. I think this is terrible, though. This is bad. That's not. Nope. Okay, so far from this wave, we've got Zombie Iron Man, Zombie Scarlet Witch, and He Who Remains. Next up will be Classic Loki. Then after that will be Zombie Iron Man until I can get the rest of the wave from Big Bad Toy Store. I'll continue on with those. But 2 so far out of the 7. I'm really looking forward to building Khonshu more than anything in this wave. Classic Loki is going to be awesome for sure. Zombie Iron Man I'm warming up to because Zombie Scarlet Witch was a little bit more than I thought, you know, was going to go into it. Jimmy Woo, I think they dropped the ball on the Randall Park likeness, so that sucks. Howard the Duck, not a whole lot going on to that. And Red Skull, I basically have Red Skull already, but, you know, we get a different animated version head, so we have that going. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this wave so far? What do you think of He Who Remains? I think he is pretty awesome. He's definitely going to be one of the more sought-after figures from the wave. In my opinion, I could be wrong on that, but I think Jonathan Majors' portrayal of He Who Remains was pretty damn awesome, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does as Kang in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. But that is a review so far. If you guys are interested in becoming a channel member, already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.